Hello students, today also we are going to study a very important lesson especially for your O-level examination. Now today first of all I should tell you this is grade 10 students learn this lesson at the first time, and grade 11 students they have learned this lesson earlier when you were in grade 10, and this time you can revise your knowledge. Especially grade 10 students, you have to study this lesson very carefully because this is one of the easiest question that you can score more marks in your O-level examination paper. So the lesson is describing a bar graph. Especially in your O-level examination, for the 14th question, you will be given a bar graph or another graph to describe. So then it is a very easy question. The best thing, you will be given some words to describe this bar graph or whatever the graph that you get. So the thing that you have to learn is learning to make sentences using these words. Then you have to get familiar of making the sentences using these words. So first of all, I will show you a bar graph. Now this bar graph shows you the result of a survey conducted among 45 students about their favorite leisure time activities. So this is a graph that I give you. Then when you are given this graph, then you have to study several parts of this graph. The first one is that you can see there are two axes like this. Here you can see this axis. This is called the vertical axis. To this side there is an axis. It is called the horizontal axis. Vertical axis and the horizontal axis. Then the details are there. Then you can see there are several leisure time activities, and this side you can see the number of students, and this side you can see the leisure time activities. Then what are the leisure time activities? Let's see what are the leisure time activities described in this graph. The first one, reading books. Then there are 15 students like reading books. Then you have watching television, one of the most favorite activity of you. It has 20 students. Then there are another two activities. They have equal number of students. Gardening and listening. 10 students for each. Then the last one, swimming. There are 5 students like swimming. Then I will show you the words that you have to use to describe this chart. The words are most, least, majority, minority, equal and less than. So these are the words that you have to describe this chart. In your examination also you will be given such kind of set of words. So there you should not, we don't ask you to use all these words in sentences. You can use either 5 or 6 words. Then you have to get, the best thing is you have to get familiar how to make sentences using these words. Then whatever the information is given, then you can apply the sentence patterns and you can describe the chart. Then as grade 10 ones, as I told you, the grade 10 ones learn this first time. So in order to make them easier to then as they need to write sentences, then I will give you some questions. Then using those questions you can make sentences clearly. Then when you are given this when you are going to describe this chart, then see my first question. Then I give you a question like this. What does this chart show? What does this chart show? Then try to make a complete answer for this question. Answer in a full sentence, in a complete sentence. Then how to write a complete answer? Then you can write this graph, if not this bar graph, shows the results of a survey conducted among 45 students about their favorite leisure time activity. Then the first sentences you can write like this. The second question, what does the horizontal axis represent? Now you can see the horizontal axis like this. Then what does that represent? Then you can write the sentence, the horizontal axis represent the leisure time activities. Then I will give you another question. What does the vertical axis represent? Then vertical axis like this. Then you can write the vertical axis represent the number of students. Now you have built up 3 sentences. Then again now another question. Then you can tell what the leisure time activities are. Then I will when I ask a question like this, what are the leisure time activities? Then you can form the answer like this. The leisure time activities are reading books, watching television, gardening, listening and swimming. So then you can write some sentences using these words. Then I will give you some question for such things, such words also. The first one, most. Then we can ask a question like this. What is the most popular activity? What is the most popular leisure time activity? Then you can write the answer. The most popular leisure time activity is watching television. How many students like watching television? Then you can write 20 students like watching television. Then another question. What is the least popular activity here? The least popular activity is swimming. Then how many students like swimming? Only 5 students like swimming. Then majority. Majority means the most of the students, the bahutaraya. Then what is the activity that majority of the students like? Then you can write the majority of the students like watching television. Then minority. Then that is easy for you to make. What is the activity that the minority of the students like? The minority of the students like swimming. Then there are 2 activities. Then they have the equal numbers. Equal number means samanagayange. Then what is the activity that the equal number of students like? Then you see the graph and you can tell the equal number of students like gardening and listen to music. Then there you can write that sentence also. Then if I am less than, how do you use that in a sentence? If I ask a question like this, what can you say about the number of students of swimming and watching television? Then you can write a sentence like this. The number of students like swimming is less than, adui is less than the number of students like watching television. Then those sentences you can write for these questions. But here that you should remember that when your exam you will be not given questions. You have to write only a paragraph. So now let's see the paragraph that we have wrote. Then forget about the questions and see only the answers. Then what is the paragraph you got after taking the answers? Then let's see. You will get a paragraph like this. This bar graph shows the results of a survey conducted among 45 students about their leisure time activities. Then the next one, the horizontal axis represent the leisure time activities, the vertical axis represent the number of students. Then the leisure time activities are reading books, watching TV, gardening, listening to music and swimming. According to the chart, the most popular activity is watching television. The least popular activity is swimming. Then I told you the numbers. The most popular activity is watching television. 20 students like watching television. The least popular activity is swimming. 5 students like swimming. The equal number of students like gardening and listening to music. The number of students that like swimming is less than the number of students like watching television. That is the paragraph you have got. So, study that. Again and again you study the question and answers and study how we have formed the sentences using these words. So, now I will give you another graph. Then you have to describe that graph and write a paragraph. So, as I told you, the student learned this lesson first time. For that also I will give you some questions to make you easier to make sentences. So, this is the graph I give you. Here, this bar graph shows the results conducted among 70 students on the mode of transport they use to come to school. The modes of the way you come to school. Write a description using the information. The words are most, least, majority, minority, equal, less than. So, these are the questions that I give you. Then you can see the horizontal axis, vertical axis, what horizontal axis represent and the vertical axis represent. Now, let's see the question. Then my first question is, what does this chart show? Then you know how to form the answer. Then the next one, what does the vertical axis represent? Then what does the horizontal axis represent? What are the modes of transport described in the graph? What is the most popular mode of transport? Most popular, Vada Janapriya. Then how many students come to school by bus? What is the least popular mode of transport? How many students like to come on foot? What is the mode of transport that the majority of the students use to come to school? What is the mode of transport that the minority of the students use to come to school? What is the mode of transport that the equal number of students like to come? How many students like to come by bus? Then what can you say about the number of the students coming on foot and the number of students coming by the three-wheel? Right? Now you should not keep in mind these questions. Then these questions are given you to teach you how to form the sentences using these words. After writing several questions like this, after answering for several questions like that, then you will get very familiar to make the sentences using these words. Then after that you will not need the questions. Then at once you will be able to write only the sentences. So my dear students, study these questions and write full answers for these questions and you describe the chart. Then you have to write at the end only the paragraph. Then you write only the paragraph, then send me, then I will give you marks according to your answer. So, another day I will teach you another graph to describe, how to describe another graph. Then after writing several graphs, I think that you will get more marks. I think 8 out of 10 you will, it very easy for you to get. Okay. Thank you children. Have a nice day. Goodbye.